what we're going to do today is show you how to remix and backing audio tracks and music that you've grabbed for your video edit. But of course, you can see my video edit down here. It's about 38 seconds long. We've got some good old drones flying through some fields. 38 seconds long, but my music track is actually too long. So it goes up to, what's that? 2 minutes 26. And so what you can do, of course, in Premiere is you can come down here. You can cut this music track, let's see, and then cut this bit. So now I've got the end of the clip, and you can kind of try and line it up like that. Let's say we're to about here, stretch this out. And that works okay, but the problem is this isn't a very smooth and natural way to do it. You have to line up your cuts to make sure that the beat lines up. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. Say my video is actually, let's say, what do we got? 3 minutes 14 long. So this step that I'm going to show you is you can do this to lengthen or shorten a music track. So we've got 3 minutes 14 long, and our track is actually 2 minutes 26. So we need to extend this out. So you could also cut this, drag this out, and you could cut pieces and extend it and loop it, but you have to line up all of your beats here, which isn't very fun to do. It's kind of satisfying doing it, but when you don't have much time, this is a quick way to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit this track in Adobe Audition. So right-click on it and choose Edit Clip in Audio Audition up the top here. Should open up Adobe Audition. I'm just going to swap over to Audition here. Okay, so we have our song here. If I click on this one. And what we're going to do is to edit this and remix it, we need to put this into a multi-track. So click File, New, Multi-Track Session. And I'm going to call this Remix Background Music. And I'm just going to save this onto my desktop. I have a folder there called Remix Music. Whenever you're working with Premiere and Audition, I recommend have a good folder structure. Make sure you have everything in their own separate folders instead of putting it all into a document or desktop where it's easy to lose them. So I'll save that there. And you can set your setting to be 48,000, 32, and stereo. And click OK. And here's our multi-track session here. So let's drag our song over. This is song 2 audio extracted. There's our song there. And I'll zoom out a bit. And what do we have? We have 2 minutes 26 down on the bottom here. I'll bring this up a little bit so you can see that. 2 minutes 26, and we need to take it to be 3 minutes 14. Okay, so this file here, let's right-click on it and choose Remix, Enable Remix. And what Audition is doing here is it's analyzing the clip. It's basically having a listen to it, working out where the beats are, where the certain sounds are, so that it can actually chop and change and loop little sections for you. So normally when you drag out a song to shorten or lengthen it, you just go on the right here and drag it left or right. But what you can do is if you slide your mouse up here, there's some little squiggle lines right here. You notice that Remix pops up on your mouse. Click and hold and drag this to the left, and Audition will think about it. And you see here that we have these little zigzag lines. And what these zigzag lines is this is where Audition has cut the file and stitched it back together. And when I push play, you shouldn't be able to hear the transition where this little line is. Let's have a listen. That was really subtle. I could tell that that was there. Let's have a listen to this one. But look, if you're listening to this as a viewer and you don't know the song's been remixed, that's like magic and you cannot tell. So I'll undo that. So I drag that to the left to shorten it, but let's drag this out to the right to make it longer. Let's say like 3 minutes 30. And you'll notice that we've got one stitch here in the middle. So it only has chopped the song into 2 pieces, stitched a little bit in the middle, and the rest of it is actually the natural track. Let's have a listen to this bit. So you want to check when you're doing remixing, you want to check how it's working out, see if it's nice and smooth. That works perfectly fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Premiere. What do we need? 3 minutes 14. Okay, so let's change this to be 3 minutes 14. I'm going to take this down to be about 3 minutes 14 here. Slide this back. And you see it goes a little bit longer. So let's see if we can get this to be about right. Let's go here. Okay, so 3 minutes 14 is right here. And if I do some fiddling with it, you'll notice that, oh, I can get that pretty close. That's pretty close there. 3 minutes 14 and a half. Let's see if I can take it down a tiny bit more. No. Okay, so this is the thing with remixing is it's not a precise timing that you can get. Oh, wait a second. No, that's still 3 minutes 14.5. Okay, it's pretty close. I'll show you how to fix that. And you'll notice with this time here, there's actually 2 little stitch segments here. Let's have a listen to this. Okay, how good, I just gotta say, how good is that? It's done this automatically, this little stitch here, and you cannot even hear it. This is ridiculous. This is what we get to use these days. Oh. It's just magic. Okay, so we've done that remixing. We've got it at about 3 minutes 14, but that's not perfect. So what I'd like to do is go down here to our remix window. And I'll double check if you can't see that there. Let's see if you can see it in here. So as soon as you enable remix, you should have a window down here on the lower left. It's in the properties tab. And this is where we can muck around with the settings. So say we want this to be precisely 3 minutes 14. So even back a little bit more, about there, 3 minutes 14. What you can do here is you can actually type in your target duration to be what you'd like it to be. So let's say 3 minutes 14 and return. We'll think about it. And that's a little bit too long, but the end of the song is at 3 minutes 11, so that's still not right. So what we're going to do is we're going to tick this box, stretch to exact duration. Okay, and what are we at here? 3 minutes 10. So what I'd like to do is I'd like, not the end of the track here to be at 3 minutes 14. I'd like the final beat, that little beat there, to be at 3 minutes 14. So it's a little bit too early. So we've got stretch to exact duration ticked. So now let's adjust this. Let's go 3 minutes 16 and return. Let's see where it's at. Oh, still needs a bit more, and that's at 3:12. So what we're doing is we're allowing for this quiet space at the end in this target duration we're doing. So let's go 3 minutes 21. Oh, that's too much. So let's go 3 minutes 19. That's close, 3 minutes 18. Still, that's 3:14 and a half, so let's go 3:17, 5. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. I've done 3 hours. 3 minutes 17, 5, that worked? There we go, 3 minutes 17.5. Oh, that's pretty close. I'm going to try and make this perfect. 3 minutes 17.4. There we go. That's pretty much bang on 3 minutes 14 there. Okay, so we've remixed our track. It's the correct length. And now what you can do is there's some settings you can adjust here in the remix tab. And what this does is it changes the kind of features of the remixing. So if I leave my mouse over here, you can see what this one is. Remix using more edits and segments closer in proximity. So this is going to use pieces that are closer to each other in the song. So that means it won't grab like the quiet instrumental bit halfway through the song and put it right next to the big heavy chorus, because that would sound a bit unnatural. So you can slide this to different spots or fewer edits and segments further apart. So we'll leave that one there. Features. So this is focus on timbre, spectral or harmonic characteristics of the sound with searching for optimal transition points. So this is where Audition will listen to what's actually happening in the audio. Something that you would notice if two pieces were cut really close to each other, they would sound like they would clash. So it's going to work on that as well. Here is the minimum loop. So this is how many beats it's going to make for the minimum loop. So this kind of piece here between these two little squiggle lines, that's a loop. And we've got it set at about 8 beats. So if we take this back down to, let's say, 2 beats, and if I shorten my song, let's take this down here, zoom in, make it really short. I slide this up to, say, 10 beats. It's not really giving much of a result. Let me muck around with this. Here we go. So you can see more cuts here. So at about this length of the song, and let's take this down here. There we go. So now I've taken it down to 5 beats, and you see that we have these really small pieces here. So what that's done is Audition has the freedom now. It can use 5-beat lengths of pieces to make these little transition pieces. But if I bring it back up and say, hey, look, I want 8 beats minimum, it's not going to have those small pieces in there. So that means you'll have longer segments of the original track intact that you can't notice the difference between. Okay, so let me undo that and see if I can get back to my 3 minutes 14. I think that's it. That's it. Okay, I didn't lose all my progress. Cool. Okay. And if you ever lose your remix tab, that just means you're not clicked on your track. So click on your track there. So look, I'm happy with that. It goes to 3 minutes 14. So let's file, export, multi-track mixdown, entire session. And I'm going to call this remix background music. I'm going to name it 3 minute 14. So that way I know where it is. Okay, and let's go. Let's go desktop, remix music background. Okay, and click OK. Going to mix down our track. We'll go back to Premiere. It's going to swap over to my Premiere screen. Okay, and now let's import this. So I'm going to import, and I'm going to go to remix music. Should be in here. Remix background music 314. That's all correct. And I'll click import. Here we go. Let's drag this over. Okay, so I'm going to put my old one up here and mute that track. Let's drag this back. And you can see it goes past the end of the clip, but that's pretty close. So I can actually just shorten this a little bit here. Say if my edit was exactly there. And when I hit play, that's pretty much perfect. And so what we've done is we've changed this music track here, which was 2 minutes 24, and changed it up to be 3 minutes 17. So this means if you're looking for a background music, it doesn't have to be the right length for your edit, and you can do the same effect with this remixing that we've done to shorten a track down to be something like 20 or 30 seconds. So you've got some freedom there to use Premiere or Audition to remix your music. That'll do it for the stream, everybody. If you have any projects that you're working on, any questions that you may have that you think might benefit from having a quick stream, just send us an email to the MaPS email address, and we can look at doing a quick stream for you. Okay, thanks everybody for joining. See ya.
Thank you.
Welcome.